Data, data, data. That's all that anybody seems to be talking about nowadays. And it's no wonder. The business environment has drastically changed over the last couple of decades. Before, you may have been able to get away with just shooting in the dark, but that's no longer an option. Even if you do have amazing business instincts, you better believe that your competitors are collecting all types of data, breaking it down in every possible way, and taking away the most actionable insights that drive informed business decisions. Now that brings me to one of the lowest hanging fruits of data, and that is conversion rates. It's easy to track and extremely valuable in your decision-making process. So in this video, I'll be showing you exactly how you can start tracking and reporting on deal conversion rates inside of your HubSpot environment. But before I jump into that, let's talk about use cases. What can you do with this data of tracking conversion rates? Well, for one, you can figure out what is your overall conversion rate. So that means out of all deals that have been closed, right? So that could be either closed won or closed lost. What percentage of them are won and what percentage of them are lost? Then you can start breaking that down. And for example, you can start taking insights on what are the conversion rates of the different products or services that you offer. Perhaps some of your products are selling at a much better conversion rate than others. And so that's how you can identify the weakest links and your strengths as well. Also, you can see what are the conversion rates based on channels. So perhaps your paid social media leads that are resulting in deals are closing at a much higher rate than your Google Ads leads. So what could that indicate? Well, that could be an indication that you should invest more money into your paid social media leads and invest or perhaps optimize your Google Ads leads. Also, you could perhaps take a look at what are the conversion rates by sales reps. Perhaps you have some very high performing sales reps and some lower performing sales reps. So that could be a great indication for you that maybe you need to spend some more time training the reps that are struggling with closing deals. That being said, let's dive into it and I will show you how you can configure this in HubSpot. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to go into our properties. So that's going to be, you click on settings at the top here, and then you scroll down to properties. Now we want to make sure that we're tracking this on the deal level because we are tracking conversion rates of deals that have been closed, either closed won or closed lost. So now let's go ahead and create a brand new custom property, and we can call it deal conversion rate. Now you can organize it in a group if you want, but for now we'll just keep it under deal information. Now the field type here is going to be a number type of field, and we want to make sure to make it a percentage. So let's create. Okay, so now that this field or property has been created, now we want to create a mechanism of how we can accurately populate this property for all deals that have been closed. Because if a deal is still open, well, we don't really know what the conversion rate is going to be on that. It's still open. So we're going to do that using workflows. Let's open our workflows. And of course, always make sure that you're organizing your workflows. So in this case, I'm going to put it into our data management folder. And, perhaps you can organize it a little bit better, but that's going to do for now. And the object here is going to be a deal-based workflow. Next. So in terms of the trigger, we really only want to be assigning a conversion rate to deals that have already been closed. So that would be either closed won or closed lost. So we're going to go ahead and select the trigger of when filter criteria is met. So you want to go to deal properties, and you might be using a property perhaps like status, right? Deal status won or lost, or you might be going based off of deal stage. So in our case, I'm going to use deal stage. So deal stage could be any of 1, So this is the stage that indicates that it's a one deal. Or it could be a lost deal, closed lost. Okay, so we've selected our triggers. Now, I do want to turn on re-enrollment and make sure that this is checked. Now, likely this is not going to be important, right? Because in theory, when a deal is either closed won or closed lost, it should stay there, right? It should never be unwon or unlost. That state should be final. However, if somebody makes a mistake and closes the deal off, then you want to give the deal a chance to get re-enrolled. So that's why it's just better to keep this on to account for any kind of human errors. And that should be it. So every deal will be enrolled into this workflow as long as the deal stage is any of close won or close lost. Let's go ahead and save. Now, the idea behind this property is as follows. We want to make every single deal that has been won and give it a conversion rate of 100%. And then all the deals that have been lost, we want to give them a conversion rate of 0%. So that way, when you average it out, it will give you the average conversion rate of all of your closed deals. Or perhaps you can even filter it if you want to look at a specific segment of closed deals and determine the conversion rate of that specific segment. So for example, if you're evaluating a specific salesperson, you want to know that salesperson's conversion rate, well then you can filter out only the closed deals of that salesperson and see the average conversion rate on that salesperson. That's going to tell you how good of a salesperson they are, right? So here, let's go ahead and add a branch. It's going to be and or logic. And the first branch here is going to be won deals. And the criteria of this is going to be deal properties, stage. Deal stage is any of one. Simple enough. And then I'm going to go ahead and clone this branch and call this branch lost. And now let's go ahead and not lost it, lost. Let's go ahead and edit this branch. And big surprise, it's going to be the lost deals. Good. Now we can save. Now we want to add the actions. The action is going to be edit record. And we're going to choose the right property, which is that new property that we created, deal conversion rate. And for the won deals, that conversion rate is going to be 100. You don't have to add the percentage because it is already a percentage type of property. So that's going to do it automatically. And let's go ahead and save it. And then let's go ahead and clone this action, paste it here on the lost, and then we are going to go ahead and change it to 0%. Save. That's it. Are we done? No, we're not, because we haven't named the deal yet. And we are going to name this populating property deal conversion rate. So that should be it. Now let's double check that everything looks right. And indeed it does. So now we are good to turn on this workflow, and that should enroll all of the closed deals and should yield the conversion rate for us. Review and publish. Yes, we want to enroll all the deals that meet this criteria. Next, next, and turn it on. And now the workflow is going to do its thing and it's going to run. And this workflow should not need any kind of maintenance moving forward. This should adjust, if somebody makes a human error and then, accidentally puts labels a deal as one, and then corrects themselves and changes that deal to lost, then it will be re-enrolled and the percentage will be adjusted. So this workflow is just a one-time thing. You make it one time and this should always keep your conversion rates accurate. So now let's go ahead and build a report that will reflect this. So first, let's just go back to this property, conversion rates, and let's just see whether it has been populated already. So we want to go to used in, and we can see that it's already been filled out. Great. So now let's go to reports. Now, I always like to clone existing reports because I've put some fields in there that I want to have. And we are going to rename this and call it deal conversion rates. In fact, we're going to name this closed deal conversion rates because we only want to take into consideration won and lost deals, closed deals. And we're going to make sure that it gets added to this funnel dashboard that I'm working on. Save and add. Okay. And now we can go ahead and customize it. So this is just a custom report. We want to make sure that at least the deal object is selected. And actually, in this case, it should be the main object of the report should be deal. Select contacts and companies, although it's not really necessary in this case. And we're just going to keep it as a KPI report and search for deal conversion rate. There it is. And now we just replace this count of deal with the deal conversion rate. And we want to make sure that the filters are correct. So in this case, the filter is that the deal stage is only 1. And so no surprise, we intentionally put the 1 deals as conversion rate of 100. Now, if I only want to look at lost deals, then the percentage here should, in theory, be 0%. And that's how we know that we've configured everything correctly. 0%, exactly as expected. But now we want to include all closed deals. That would be closed won and closed lost. Apply. And so this should give us the actual conversion rate of all of our deals, but we need to change it from sum to average. Apply. And there you go. You can see that our conversion rate is about 15% in this data set that we have. So that means that out of all deals that have been lost or have been closed, either closed won or closed lost, about 15% of them have been won and 85% of them have been lost. Not a great conversion rate. We can update the existing report, go back to the dashboard, and now this is where we can start to play around with it. We can use filters to only show us deals that are from a specific traffic source and evaluate their conversion rates, or only deals that have a specific deal owner and evaluate their conversion rates, or only deals that are for a certain product or service that we have and evaluate the conversion rate. So this is just an extremely important metric that everybody using HubSpot should configure. As you see, it took me all but 5 or 10 minutes to configure, but it's going to be extremely valuable for you and you're going to get a lot of great insights from it.